Welcome to Sustainable News. I had a very nice conversation with Jennifer Koskelin-Gibbons. She is co-founder of the Palau Legacy Project, the Palau Pledge, and we talked about Ol'au Palau. Now, first, however, some really positive news from around the world. First of all, China intends to plant and conserve 70 billion trees by 2030 in its efforts to fight deforestation and climate change. President Xi told this to the World Economic Forum at Davos. And this pledge is really part of the 1 trillion trees initiative, which is a global reforestation plan that was unveiled 2 years ago at the WEF. So great news. Now in America, we have President Biden. He moves to protect major Alaska watershed from mining. Now, if this is finalized, then the proposal, which originally comes from the Environmental Protection Agency, would protect one of the world's largest salmon fisheries. It will block a plan to mine in a watershed. This is mining for gold, for copper, and for other metals. We have the UK newspaper Independent talking about climate change, and they say, could beer made from urine help water shortages? It definitely goes down smooth, is what one drinker is saying. So this is beer, mostly made from wastewater, treated to become ultra clean water, and then used to create the topical blonde ale. They say 95% water part of the beer is all recycled. Not too bad. Then we have the Dutch farm. They are putting animal welfare and sustainability first. And they are saying a happy pig is a healthy pig. And they talk about circular agriculture. It's a form of farming focusing on minimizing the impact on the environment. They're saying farming with nature rather than against nature. Involves working with natural cycles, reducing energy consumption, implementing organic agricultural practices, and ensuring the well-being of farm animals. And then last but certainly not least, we have the first all-black climbing team has summited Mount Everest. And why is that a big deal? Well, they say there are so few black mountaineers at this level that it is our duty to bring this to our communities, our young people, and talk about the benefits of being outdoors and connecting with nature and having a healthy lifestyle throughout their lives. So basically, it's about setting an example, and I think it is great. Jennifer Koskelin-Gibbons, co-founder of the Palau Legacy Project, Palau Pledge, board director of Friends of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, which is a non-profit, and we talked about Ol'au Palau, which is the amazing campaign for sustainable travel or responsible travel. Now, Ol'au Palau, what does that stand for?
And so Ol'au just means that you and I, we know each other. So I'm just going to call you. I'm just going to say, hey, come over here. And then when you come close enough to me and we're talking, I say Ali, which is hello, how are you? But Ol'au is a informal way of saying, come on over. We know each other well enough. I'm just going to informally call you and say, hey, come and let's have a barbecue together, or stop off on your boat and let's have fun with the kids here on the beach.
Jennifer sent me a quick email beforehand saying that the Palau Pledge actually launched 5 years ago, December 2017, but Ol'au Palau was launched this April during the Our Ocean Conference. So really, that was just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so it started all with the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, when we learned that consumers, they want to be able to support and validate and help destinations and companies that do right by the community. So in creating the marine sanctuary, we needed a next step. And that next step was actually the Palau Pledge. And so when you come into the airport in 2017, you get a stamp that gives you a pledge that you have to read and sign. And that is a pledge to the children of Palau that you're in fact going to abide by existing laws. There are not any new laws that were created, but we needed to find a creative way to be able to say, hey, do you think that you could follow these existing rules? And it's just doing the right thing. It's just how do we get you excited about doing the right thing and not be dismissive or be rough with you. And then the next step for us, the natural next step was, okay, how do we incentivize them in a way that is proactive. So we are asking them to abide by these rules, but then what do we give to them in exchange for following our customs, our traditions, abiding by our laws to use reef safe sunscreen, asking them to record their carbon footprint? How do we ask them to do that? And how do we incentivize them? And that's how Ol'au Palau was born. So the pledge is actually by law. It's is the official stamp. So it's become sort of a novelty. It's your it's what you get. It's one of those things that you get because it's kind of cool. There's nothing like it in the rest of the world. But then we thought, okay, how do we get it into the community? How do we make sure that businesses can also help encourage this? So the anchor to all of this also is we have other pledges within Palau. So there's a Palau business pledge that we've piloted to have hotels, restaurants, tour operators really stop and consider how they segregate their waste, how they use water resources, power resources, and if they are a preferred provider, like reducing their water usage or segregating their trash, then the consumer should earn points for using that business. And as you earn those points, you should be able to unlock opportunities that you would otherwise not know about because they're not mainstream. And the good thing about this is that you get a more authentic experience. Number one, that's the aim. But we also get people to go out into the community. I keep hearing these stories about in China, if you're riding a bike to work or riding a bike somewhere, you start to earn points, and those points can be converted into buying your groceries. Well, this is the same idea, except it's for the destination.
I asked Jennifer, can you walk me through an example? How does it work exactly?
You get a little brochure that says, "Hey, please do visit a one of our museums, or do please make a friend, but don't take the coral. Please don't smoke in public," or those things. You know, we try to mix in the good with the bad, and then the idea is the resources that you then unlock are those places and spaces we want to actually conserve and preserve. So there's an ancient village called Palau. It's in the village of Niesar. And the only way to get to it is by taking a boat, and you go through mangroves and you get into the old village where you can see the stone pathways as well as the stone footings for the different homes or traditional meeting houses that were there. Getting to know Rose, one of the women who grew up there, and understanding her history and her heritage, and why she wants to continue maintaining her taro patch, and having her children and her grandchildren go there, and it's part of their history, and sharing it helps her maintain it.
Okay, you mentioned mangroves, right? They are very good for the environment, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the challenges that we have to consider is with runoff from building roads, etc. The sort of in between that helps coral reefs survive are those taro patches that, you know, the runoff goes into taro patches, and then it's filtered, and then it goes into mangroves, and it's further filtered. So by the time that runoff goes into the ocean, you don't have that sedimentation that then really does a lot of harm to corals. You need those coral reefs to thrive, and you need those mangroves to thrive, so that when a typhoon hits or bad weather hits, you have a shield, you have a protective shield, a natural shield from those challenging, potentially challenging weather effects.